All right. Let's see here. Let's record. All right. I am recording now and it's 7:59 p.m. We're just I guess a half a minute in front of 8 o'clock. Okay, there we go. 8 o'clock. Welcome everyone to another installment of Get a Clue in 52. I am coming from Atlanta this week. I was in Atlanta here last week. Here we are again, another Sunday. It's 11 o'clock for me. I normally do these at 8 Pacific time, but since I'm on the East Coast, it's 11. I decided to keep the timing consistent, but I'm ready to go to bed. So we're going to go ahead and do what we always do, which is read a tip from the book, Get a Clue in 52. I'm going to pivot into group conversation just in case anybody joins me on Zoom. I'll talk to anybody that comes on board and answer any questions, discuss either the topic at hand or anything anybody wants to discuss with me, with the caveat tonight that I'm looking forward to going into bed real soon. So the book, Get a Clue in 52, I originally published it self-published in 2019. Then in 2020, before COVID hit, I decided I wanted to read one tip every single Sunday night from the book and then pivot into group conversation. And I live streamed that into a Facebook group, Get a Clue in 52. So if you're watching on Get a Clue in 52 or on Facebook, hello to you. This year, what we're doing is we're live streaming onto my YouTube channel, Watch Get a Clue. And I had been doing lives also and looking at two different cameras, but tonight we're just going to stream into YouTube and make sure that we get all 52 tips recorded into YouTube, and so forth. So I'm not going live on Facebook tonight. I don't need to invite any extra interactions for myself tonight. I want to read the tip, be brief, get it recorded and loaded, and then move on because I'm tired. It's been a wild week for me. A week ago this time, I was on my way to Vegas to spend a week in Vegas closing escrow on a condo that I bought for my brother. If you guys have been following along week by week by week, I refinanced my parents' house. They passed in September, so I did a cash out refi. Wanted to take that money and get a condo that my brother could move into, which was right sized for him because living in my old parents' house, too much house for him. So we got that condo under contract and escrow was set to close last week, but I'm here in Atlanta. So I flew back to Vegas, and my good friend, colleague, brother, co-worker, spiritual partner. I mean, this guy's just amazing. Joey Falcone. Hats off to Joey. He came from Fort Myers into Atlanta to hang out all week and make sure that AJ was okay, traveling back and forth. And they had a blast together. It was like Uncle Joey in town with AJ all week. And then I got back to town yesterday morning, and Joey left to go back to Fort Myers earlier today. And AJ had a great baseball game today. He had a game tying triple in the bottom of the seventh. It was a hugely dramatic accomplishment after lightning and rain delays and all. So it's been a long day. It's been a long week. Earlier in the week, I also was given an Excellence in Education Award at the same conference. I delivered a keynote speech, so I was able to unleash the integrity game to an international audience of educators and administrators and technologists in the field of education and learning and growth. That was really exciting. So to come back and be able to hang out with my son and Joey and see the success that my son had today. He also threw a good 4 pitches yesterday. It is only a pitching appearance so far. He struck out the only batter he faced looking on 4 pitches. So AJ's starting to have some success and we're excited, but we're exhausted. And we're going to go ahead and get through tonight's tip, Get a Clue in 52, and we're going to go to bed. And that's what we're going to do. So, there's 5 categories, 10 tips in each category, except for the marketing section. I put 2 extra tips in there so that I'd have a year's worth, so that, it's kind of pre-planned that I'd be able to come in and do 52 weeks worth of videos reading one tip at a time. So here we are. And the first section, by the way, at the beginning of the year that we covered was communication. We started there. Then we went into marketing and we got all 22 of those tips done, communication and marketing. And now we're in the networking section, and it's tip number 4 in networking tonight, which is tip number 26 overall. And to review the tips that we've covered in networking so far, very briefly, number 1, develop an elevator pitch, right? If you only have the amount of time it takes to ride up or down an elevator, how would you get somebody to be interested in you or your business or your product or your service or whatever it is? Okay. So we know that we want to quickly say who we are and What do we do that's so vague? More importantly, what problems do we solve? And more importantly than that, how do we solve them better or different than anybody else? So those are ingredients of an elevator pitch. Tip number 2 is to repeat number 1, making the point that I don't believe we should have one elevator pitch. If in fact it's true that we do more than one thing, or solve more than one problem, or help in more than one way, or have more than one competitive advantage, or serve more than one target demographic. So repeat, tip number 1 is tip number 2 is to have many elevator pitches, or to put yourself in a position to be able to come up with an elevator pitch on the spot that may be different from the last one you did, because the one that you're coming up with on the spot is appropriate to who you're talking to at the time, who's probably different than the last person you talked to. So being able to pitch appropriately to the circumstance, the situation, the people that you're talking to in the moment, but being able to do that by command of all of the problems you solve and all the ways that you solve them better or different than anybody else. Tip number 3, then, which we talked about last week, which is learn and master active listening skills. There's a typo actually in the book itself that says marketing. It should say listening. Listening skills. The best way to listen is just to ask good questions, and then you'll have a lot of good stuff to listen to. I digress. And that takes us to tonight, tip number 4. So tip number 4 is look for synergy. I'm going to go ahead and read it word for word. I'm alone here. Nobody's with me on Zoom tonight, which is actually a blessing of sorts. So I can just read the tip and go to bed. But normally I love interaction. So if you're watching this on YouTube or recording in the future and you want to jump in and be a part of Get a Klu in 52 and you want to hang out, it's very simple. Just go to www.tinyurl.com/getaklu, GETAKLU. Anytime I'm doing these live at 8 p.m. Pacific time, just jump on board under the Zoom side and wait for me to finish reading the tip, and then we'll get into a conversation. And that's the way we do it. Here we go. Tip number 4, page 70, Get a Klu in 52. Tip number 4 from the networking section. Tip number 26 overall, which means we're halfway through the year right now. Oh my goodness. Can you believe how badly we were looking forward to 2021 and now it's halfway over? My goodness. I digress. Here we go. Page 70. Purposes along the lines of feed 2 birds with 1 grain. You can attach to the networking event. Is there an errand you can? Is there someone you've been meaning to catch up with that might want to join you at the event? Or a piece on the player's board? If all you do is host venues or other attendees boards. Does that make sense? I hope you guys got that. I'm going to say it again. If all you do is attend a networking event, you are just a piece on the organizers or speakers or sponsors or hosts or venues or other attendees boards. If, however, attending a networking event is a piece on your board because you've intentionally attached other moves to attending the event, now you're the player. Write down the next networking event you will attend and then brainstorm all the other things you can get done / achieve in and around the attending of that event. Go. All right, that's it. That's the tip. Imagine the next networking event you want to go to, and then imagine what else you can get done in, around, before, after, during, with, through that event. See how much synergy you can create out of that event, how much else you can get done. It would be easy and fun to elaborate and come up with more examples and to dialogue. It would be easy to do that if there were other people on board live with me. But again, to stay true to what I said at the outset, I'm a little tired. It's 11:09 local time in Atlanta after, God, I was in Atlanta last week. I was in Vegas this past week, and now I'm back in Atlanta. So I'm tired, but I wanted to stay true and make sure we got number 26. Tip number 26 overall is now recorded. It is number 4 in the networking section, and it's about synergy. What else other than just attending event can you get done on the way to, during, or after that event? Be creative about it, be thoughtful about it, and you're on your way to more efficient, more productive, more rewarding networking. This is Jeff Klubeck signing off with another installment of Get a Clue in 52. Thank you guys so much for being loyal and devout fans. And go ahead and comment or question or like or share. And we'll see you next week.